like to welcome everybody to the City of Balcones Heights for the City Council regular meeting agenda. Notice is hereby given that the above call meeting of the governing body of the City of Balcones Heights, Texas, will be held on Monday, January 26th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Justice Center located at 3300 Hillcrest Drive, Balcones Heights, Texas, 78201, to consider and act upon any lawful subject which may come before said meeting, including, among others, the following items to be discussed and acted upon. The time is exactly 6:01 p.m. We will now call to order and recording of a quorum. And we have a quorum. We have one council member that's absent who previously notified this administration and council, or rather the mayor, that he was out for medical reasons. So that'll be Councilman Jack Burton, but he will be participating virtually. He just will not be able to comment, vote, or any way whatsoever participate in the meeting, other than just listen. So let's move on to call to order and recording of a quorum, which we've done. Now we're going to finish that. We're going in item number 2, invocation, pledges of allegiance to the USA and the Texas flag. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. You want to pray first?
I don't care, but
Okay, well, invocation.
I have been
pledges.
directed. Yes.
God before the flag.
Dear God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the time and the weather. The weather has definitely changed, as it always does here and always does in Texas. But we needed some rain. We did get some. As far as the freeze, we're just praying that ACOG kind of keeps their everything clean, everything's going, so that way all our homes will be warm. We do like to conserve energy, but we don't want to be in the 40s inside of our own building. So we're asking for guidance and understanding of what we need to do as citizens and to give the wisdom and direction to those that are in charge, as well as the ones here at the city council, to listen to all individuals as they come and present whatever it is that they wish to express and also to share, and for all parties to listen and to be in agreement that they're going to do the best they can with what they got and what they know, and be under that understanding. These things I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Council and everyone. We will now move into item number 3 of the meeting. We will now have the public comment period. These are the rules for citizens' participation. Citizens' participation and comments are welcome and subject to the following rules. 1, complete a registration form. 2, direct your comments to the city council, not to an employee or to the audience. 3, speakers are limited to 3 minutes, but may be given the time of another speaker for a total of 6 minutes, if approved by the city council. 4, end your speaking at the allotted time. 5, no play cards, banner, or any type of signs are permitted in the council chambers. 6, your signature indicates that you will adhere to the public comment rules. Citizens may speak on any topic they wish to bring the attention of the governing body. The council will not deliberate on any item not on the agenda. The council may, 1, make a statement of fact regarding the item. 2, state any city policy related to item, or 3, propose placing the item on a future agenda. Citizens who wish to speak on a specific agenda item when that item is called for discussion must indicate which agenda item they wish to address. And as in always, all decorum is required. Any disruptive behavior, including shouting or derogatory statements or comments, may be ruled out of order by the presiding officer. Continuation of this type of behavior could result in a request by the presiding officer that the individual leave the meeting, and if refused, in order of removal. And that will finalize the disclosure part of it. So do we have any citizens to be heard?
Yes, sir. There's one, Lacerda.
Okay,
Sarah?
Mr. Secretary, go ahead and You can instruct them to come to the podium.
Yep, you're welcome to.
Mayor, members of council, thank you for the opportunity. One thing I want to highlight is coming into the meeting, I was a little bit disturbed that there's no agendas available for us to view. I was told it was a big packet to print, which is understandable. But at least if we could have just had the items that were going to be discussed, even if we didn't have the supporting documentation, I think that's very troubling to me. And I'm sure other citizens that would want to speak wouldn't have the opportunity to review the items that are going to be discussed. One of the items that I saw was we're looking into adding a bicycle lane on one of the streets. Just curious, what kind of supporting documentation or studying was done to bring that before the council or before an expense to the city? Just curious on that. The other one is the reallocation of the funding for the Wonderland of the Americas. It's been said by council time and time again that there's no money, there's no revenue coming in. My thought process on there is, why are we occupying prime real estate when we can be getting rent out of that space? Just question, concern, observation. What can be done with that space? I know the city was granted free space up above. You know, we could be using that and have the revenue from that rent to utilize to come to the city. I know we've got expenses coming in, but let's see what other avenues we can do other than just the first approach. Planning and zoning, I'd like to get together with whoever's going to be doing that. That's code compliance. I'd like to, if the mayor or the council can direct me to who I would have to speak to review the code compliance and the enforcement of code compliance. It's been a problem, at least for me in the last year, of what I'm going to say selective code compliance. There's many compliances that are not being addressed, and only certain citizens the rules are being enforced. So I'd like to have a summary as to how that's coming about. And pretty much that's it. And again, it's unfortunate we don't have, I was handed this paper a minute before the mayor started speaking. So I think that's unfair to me and to the other residents. Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, any other comments?
There's no.
Other citizens? Great, thank you so much. So we'll now move into the next item on the agenda, the presentation. We have a presentation by Mr. David Vela. And this is a program in which I am trying to initiate, will be initiating for the city. And it's a combination of a quality of life program for our community to engage the younger generation of our community to get more involved in giving us ideas of what we can do with our city. I'd like to start a youth scholarship program to help these kids that are in school, some coming out of high school in their last year, that have distinguished themselves as leaders in their high schools. And so Mr. Vela had lived here for many years, and he has 2 master's degree, I think, Mr. Vela? Yeah, 2 master's degree. You're working on your PhD, correct?
Correct, yes.
And you currently are a distinguished educator over at Jefferson High School, correct?
Correct.
And so give us a little bit about, before you start your strategic civic revitalization proposal, and what drew you into this, of how you communicate with me and engage with me to spark an interest in getting this started.
All right. It's fairly simple. I first moved here when I was 8 years old from Corpus Christi. Big upgrade, right? I love the city, the park, the tennis courts back in the day, right? The skate park, all of it, the volleyball. There's a lot of amenities in this small little nook, Balcones Heights. When you say it, people are like, what's that? And I was like, the place I live, right? I wanted to have more pride. I want to put us on the map, right? And so in my PhD studies, I do a lot of comparative analysis. And so what I did mainly was I went out of my way after living in Balcones Heights from about 8 to 22. I moved out, and now I live by La Cantera area. So I see Chavano, I see Windcrest, I see Leon Valley, and I see these parks, I see these people going through, I see these big, bold signs, and I'm like, well, why can't we do that, right? And the big thing in your eyes and your minds is like, well, funds, right? Funding. We sure want to do everything under the sun and make the city better, but where do we start? And so now, as a reinvestment to my students, I no longer live in the area, but I have students where the majority live in Cumberland, in Terrace House, Leisure Drive, Glenarm, all of these streets, and I hear their daily input. Like, sir, we don't have blankety blank. I have to walk so-and-so to Joe Ward. You know, we have to go to Woodlawn. And so I'm like, well, you know what? What would y'all like to see, right? I've lived there. Maybe we had some similar things that we see constantly. One of their feedback was, well, sir, the Gentleman Road gets repaved like every 3 years or every 5 years. Like, ha, 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 we laugh. And so I took their feedback and I made a sort of proposal for you all, just like a set of ideas for the year or years to come on what to focus on and what the youth are saying they'd like to have from the city. And these are hopefully future people that will spend their money in this area. They're walking, they're going to Crossroads, they work in this area. And a lot of them want to do community service here for you all, but they don't know how. And so I want to provide avenues for that as well. I have students that want community service like they want candy and money. They're like, what hours? College. They know community service hours equal college, but they don't know how to approach you all or when to approach you all, and they would like that avenue to do so. And so I've made some sort of slide deck of proposals and ways to engage students and ways to grab people's attention to attract people to Balcones Heights. And if we can slow down, as I said, I did a comparative analysis with other cities. I made a rubric, and Balcones Heights, we average about a B. We're pretty good, right? We've got a park, 2 parks actually. One of them being Reugers, the other one being the Lot, Silly Novak. We also have pretty good streets. I mean, we have good crosswalks. We have bus times for schools. We have good revenue, but we could always do better. It's not about where we are, it's about where we're going, and we want to keep attraction. One big thing I want to point heads and eyes to is that we have a large influx of people from other states coming into San Antonio, and we want to grab those high-income, affluent citizens to Balcones Heights as quickly as we can, so they're not going to these pop-up, pre-made, cookie-cutting homes in the suburbs. So how do we do that? And that's through a display of investment. That's through rigorous youth engagement and certain amenities that we can provide that are low cost but high yield for the city, right? Because if we don't have money now, how will we generate? So I have a mixture of, well, some that will cost some interest and investment, and others that are more, provided by the community and engaged through the community to provide these services. If we can go forward. So what? This, I believe, is very important because whatever we do as a city or you all choose to do, it will be attached as San Antonio. Most people, they drive by like, oh, look what San Antonio is doing. That's San Antonio Park, just built a skate park. No one knows where we are, who we are. They drive past. It takes 7 seconds to grab attention. And signage is very important for that. You need to lay your claim, lay a stake. It's the reason we put the flag on the moon when we did, right? People know the US was there. So same thing with Balcones Heights. I believe signage is important. If you were to scroll down, there are examples I have made for signages. It's the major cities that pull in the most revenue have an identity, right? Windcrest being the place with lights, Chavano being the high end, you have stone, you have limestone. What we need is signage. If you look at the slide up there, it's just a blank space, right? You can drive past this awesome area and not know, oh, look at this redone sidewalk. Look at these awesome bus stops. It's San Antonio then. San Antonio's doing this, right? And the image on the left right there with no sign, that's not even Balcones Heights, that's a random sign, but you wouldn't know because we don't have it. So signage is very important for this reason. It's to lay a claim, lay a stake. And so when you all start doing your great items, your great revampments, your little libraries and streets, they credit to the right council, the people that invested in their youth, in their people. The sign is there, Balcones Heights. So before you start doing anything, I'd highly recommend signage. Just some examples, some comparisons. Chavano's laid a claim, their signage. Windcrest, and Leon Valley. Now, signage can look anywhere. Most people want walkable cities, walkable areas. Like I said, our citizens, a lot of them, at least in the denizens in the apartments, I was here, don't have vehicles. Some of them take bus transport, thus the many bus via areas we have here. So having a nice walkable space in the affluent areas is what they're liking. Some place to sit down, some place to rest between jogs or people who are running, jogging. Lighting promotes safety, right? We have the police, they're always here and about, so that promotes safety. But what about when we're walking, right? What about when people are taking a jog? You want to engage that community activeness. You want to have a place to sit. You want lights. On the left, that ties into another program that I didn't flesh out here, but it's preferred businesses. That's just to have businesses that you can tell that are in the city. People might not know. They get paid for advertisement. Higher standards for this recognition instead of just an 80 or a 90 for food and safety. You say Balcones Heights requires a 90 just to be on that list. We prefer this. So it sets a higher standard for the city. Now, moving forward. Now, one more I wanted to go into before I hand this off is the Silly Novak Dog Park, right? And when I was younger, this park, I didn't even know how to name. I would see people with lightsabers at night, dance in the night. I'm like, what are those people doing? They're playing with lightsabers. That's pretty cool, right? I'm a little nerd. But again, it's not about what I want. And I asked my students, and they said, sir, no one goes there. No one does anything. And, you know, that's right for them to say. We have a few events, maybe some people playing kickball every now and then. But I asked them, well, what would you like to see? And one of the things I kept hearing was, what about a dog park? My apartments don't let us have dogs in the apartments. Rutgers, you can't really have dogs. You know, some people are nice and we can go through, but we can't stop, we can't walk. And, you know, I explained to them, what causes mess? It causes more maintenance. Like, well, we understand that, but what about this space right here? It's perfect for it. If you make this area into a dog park, you can separate the mess from Rutgers, and then you have a dedicated amenity for citizens, denizens in Balcones Heights. People with small dogs, large dogs. This space is large enough to divide that and meet that compliance. And on top of that, like I said, youth engagement. My students said they would love to be there to pick up messes, to keep up maintenances for community service hours if they were signed off on. So you have a whole legion of students. I'm sure you all know the amount of youth we have in this city. They're running around, they're going to the park every day. They'd be willing to help us maintain and clean this potential dog park. And it's space that's underutilized anyways. Now, if we go down, the benefits is not just the students that are taking advantage of the dog park. When I did a comparative analysis, all affluent areas of the city have a dog park in their reach, right? I drive like 10 miles to a dog park just to go to one. Every luxury apartment condo area has a dog park. It's what these young people are doing. They're not really having kids. They have dogs. They have puppies. They have their dogs in strollers. So to have a dog park, you will catch that incoming influx of citizens into San Antonio. Like, who has that amenity for us, right? We don't have one in the apartments, but looky here. There's a dog park provided right then and there. It's not just a space. So now, here are some solutions that I thought I provided as well. Just low staffing requirements and students and engaging. Most students love animals these days. It's such a big thing. They have animal therapy. We have one at Jeff, so it helps. It raises nearby desirability. People will drive into our city here and think, wow, this is awesome. We didn't know this existed. You bring in traffic, you bring in eyes, you bring in business. Oh, we're tired. Let's go to Babes. Let's get a drink. Let's get a bite to eat, right? Oh, what can we walk? You know, let's go to Crossroads. Let's go to Wonderlands. So you are bringing in traffic by just revitalizing one space. I also thought of a breakdown because, again, your eyes go to funding. You hear this little guy up here with long hair and a man bun. You're like, what is he talking about, right? Well, you could do what other big philanthropic areas do, like the Aquarium and Corpus, some hospitals, some museums. What they do is paving. We have people in Balcones Heights or on the outskirts in Hillcrest. I mean, these people they have money and of older age, and they're looking to donate. They have funds set up. And the one thing we do not have is a space to be philanthropic, for them to have a say, to have a legacy, a stake in. But you propose, hey, donate X amount, and you will have your family name on this piece of land in this great initiative in this park. So that's one way I thought of funding as well. Here's a mock-up. Again, it's a big enough space with dimensions to this in AutoCAD. There's a small dog section and a large dog because you don't want the mixture. Gazebos for walking and stopping. And so just take a look at that, just possibilities of what it could be, what we could do. And then I'll let my partner here help.
Hello, good afternoon. So to piggyback off of what he was saying, as far as the park is concerned, we do know that we have a big population of families, both older generations and the new younger generations coming in. One of the revamps that we can do for the park is we have that volleyball court there that I don't even think majority of our residents even know is still there. Within a year of it being there, grass was already taking over in the sand to, you know, just to, it was just not going well. But what we can do is, as you can see here in this mock-up, we can have like a barrier between it, and we can have these nice amenities for the families and everybody to come and enjoy the park. We have a lot of empty space there, and it's a shame that it's not being utilized in the way that it can be for our residents. In here, we can have benches on the side so families can sit and be with their families. The children, we have a lot of older residents, like I said, they can come by with the grandkids and sit around. Right now, we don't have any of that. All that we have is just 2 poles sticking in the ground. I'm not even sure if those are still there, to be honest with you. And overall, it's not a good look. And what we're trying to do is we would like to see some amenities that families can go to the park. If you scroll down a little bit, we also have the basketball court. The basketball court is asphalt pavement. It is not modern. It is not a sleek design. If you look at new subdivisions being built, new apartment complexes, a lot of them have these bright colors that bring your attention to it. They have these modern new paint. Just all around, it is a sleek design, and it attracts people to come by. And again, we can have the signage, we can have the nice lights there, because right now, as soon as it gets dark, nobody can see anything. We can't do anything about that. But we can with these initiatives and making it nicer. So it's all about bringing the amenities to the families, having a location that families can come by and just spend time within the city also, and just with themselves. And so that's what we're looking to do.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. I was there when the volleyball course put in. It was excellent. It was nice. But again, it's difficult because the overgrowth goes in and then it grows into the sand, and now it's like El Dorado, right? And did it ever exist? It's rumors that it was once there. But great idea. And against the benches in the park, simple benches, right? You have grandparents taking their grandkids there, but they're not going to sit in the ground and watch their kids. No one's going to sit in the ground and get their pants messed up, right? They're ruining their phones. They don't want the roots going into them. So some benches might improve some mobility, some durability, long lasting in there. But moving on, the City Council Youth Scholarship, something super beneficial that if you know this community, you know not all of us have the money for college or school. That was a big concern. My parents, if I got an 89 or 88, I was grounded. They were like, you need to go to college. B's don't get degrees. And I was like, okay, right. So, and I had the pleasure of dealing with the AP and IB students in Jefferson. So the students that love college, but not all of them have funding. I have 10 students that live in Terrace House right now that are worried about funding in sophomore year. And I'm helping them with scholarships. I run a group called the Senate at Jefferson. It's a long-lasting male fraternity group and leadership. And I have them do academic events, athletic events, and just real character-building events. And so I told them, well, hey, what about this? What if your local municipality offered scholarships? Would that be engaging into community service? Like, oh, yeah. Well, how many? Like, sir, I do 500 hours of community service. It's like 500. I was like, do you know how long 500 hours is? Like, sir, if it helped me go to college, I would do it. I said, okay, I'm holding you to that. And I know, again, the first thing your minds are going to, well, we're going to pay for it? We're doing it? No. You have a little guy like me go around and cold call businesses, and you get the local businesses in on this, right? Take pride in your community. Cold call. And so when they're investing in their local youth, they can put that on their window. They say, we're a supporter of the city's council youth scholarship, right? And the kids can see that. The parents see that. And so you don't just give out the scholarship, you give them requirements. You tell them, hey, it does require X amount of community service hours. They got to go pick up litter. They got to go walk so-and-so at 6 o'clock across this busy street, for the buses. They've got to do a list of events that y'all need help with, right? And so once they've done that, then to bring in those businesses that help donate X amount of funds that they did that year, you let the businesses sit on these interviews for students, right? City council picks some members, get the local business owners, and you do a mix and match. You interview them. And this is one awesome way to get the community involved, and it's a good PR look. And you're helping out young students who are trying to do better for themselves. There's no wrong here. And again, where does the money come from? Just cold call businesses. There are a lot of businesses here that can spare $200, $300, $500, right? And if you're like $500 is not a scholarship, I'll tell you right now, I got a $500 check from a lady by YWLA. Little old lady, 6 years old, came out with a check, asked for a picture when I was 18, and I just walked off. And I was like, doesn't this go to my college? She's like, no, just cash it and you pay for your books. I was like, oh, well, okay. Right. So $500, any money is money. Textbooks, iPads, laptops, anything you can help out with is a lifesaver. I gave one of my students who's a senior an old iPad with like anime stickers in the back for my daughter. And he was in tears because he didn't have money for any of that. And that impacted me. So whatever we can get from local businesses to invest in, that says a lot. And promoting this initiative will say a lot about you all. But ideally, you'd want about 7,500, but that's just like to go grand and grandiose with the pomp and circumstance, so you can fund multiple students. But if you want to go pilot year, I was really thinking 1,500, right? If you get from local citizens, local businesses, you get from the Chick-fil-A, you get really philanthropic businesses, and you give them that chance to give back into the local youth. And then here, again, local businesses, you go to individual donors, you all. If you put this out there, there are plenty of people that are willing to help others out, right? You have members of the church in this community, you have several churches in this community. You have members of local businesses. You have business owners that are in this community that have businesses elsewhere, but they need tax write-offs, right? You tell them different ways, you give them different avenues, it'll happen. Oh, and then another good idea.
Okay, so going back to adding amenities to the city. So one of them that we could do that is, it's not a permanent thing. If for whatever reason, if we need to, we can backpedal it. But everything that we've seen so far that we've seen is the food truck events. Now, these, if you look at areas like El Camino, Area 51, The Block, those are all places within San Antonio that have high traffic coming in, and primarily on the weekends, but it's a lot of traffic coming into the cities and also to for revenue. One of the big examples that I found was in Waco. They have a food truck like competition, and they're trying to figure out who has the best food truck in Texas. That alone brings in, estimated, about 25,000 people just to taste the food and try it out. And we have plenty of space here in the city that we can do that. Namely, one of the places is at the mall. There's plenty of parking space where we can bring in vendors to come in and have just a social media presence. Social media is going to be one of the biggest things. It is one of the biggest ways to bring in attention and people to the city. Having all these people come in is going to bring in the revenue. And while they're here, they can experience the city once we get everything rolling, and for what we have now. So it's a good way to bring in people and revenue. Have anything to add?
Yes, it also opens the palates for our citizens as well. I know all we have is a lot of taquerias, Chick-fil-A, but all my students, all they ever eat is they bring me tacos or chicken strips. And I need these kids to taste a little like Asian fusion. I don't know, something, German food, some wurst. I don't know. You bring in foods, bring it for the police officers. They deserve it, right? Park it right here in City Hall. Ask them what they want. Park one vendor here. There are plenty of Back the Blue trucks out there that would love to serve our cops here and our local city council. It's an amenity, right? You don't have to go somewhere, order Uber Eats. There's a really good tasting food truck. Not all of them are pricey, right? Some of them are, but not all of them. And it's an extra amenity. Get the apartment people to walk over here. I was one of them. I was in Terrace House. My parents would have me walk all the way over to Jim's, like at 12. Shouldn't have, right? And get our order. It was crazy. But you park something here in the safety of the confines in the parking lot right here, maybe once a month, once a weekend. They look forward to it. It's the mind. It's Pavlovian psychology. Now, one of the last things I swear to you before this little guy's done talking. Again, I'm really big into philanthropy and city benefit dinners. We have this hotel over here in the city where the taxes come to the city for hotel taxes. And we need to put the eyes on that. People don't see it as the go-to. It is an option. So I believe what I was researching, many of the big cities have these large benefits. They have, it's philanthropic based and bound. You get a local place to cater, maybe not local, whatever you choose, but you have students propose improvements, ideas. Oh, maybe a new crosswalk painted, maybe this little library, but you get the youth anywhere from, I believe other cities did it from 10 to 18, that's what they counted as youth. And they would have this list of ideas, and you'd invite people in the city or outside or in the larger city of San Antonio, any philanthropist, people with money, right? You bring them in, and you wine and dine them. You open them up, and instead of us old fogies or millennials giving them ideas, you have the people with money listen to the kids themselves, not me, to the kid, 8 to 18, why they're passionate, why they need this improvement, and these people, like an auction, put money to it. They choose on a menu what they want. And so not only putting eyes on the hotel that we get taxes from, you're like, oh, this exists, it's right here. You have the dinner there, you maybe have catered from a business here, and then you have the youth to have a chance to speak well and write and articulate in front of these awesome individuals who are willing to donate and don't stutter like me and Johnny back here, right? So you start them young. And so having this once a year also brings eyes, right? San Antonio, Leon Valley, like, wow, look at that city. They're letting 8-year-olds speak about park improvements? That's crazy. And if you think that's insane, I thought it was too until Advanced Learning Academy. If it's a school in SAISD, I work at SAISD. They had their entire first grade class redo their park. The first graders did it. And then they had them stand by each of their park little areas like this and give speeches on why they added that particular part. They invited parents, and my coworker told me, I'm like, you're insane. He showed me pictures, I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. So imagine doing that for the city and them, the students themselves, seeing that people care through investments right then and there. If you're saying people won't, I get invited every year to the Boys and Girls Club at the McNay, was a couple years ago, and people will just throw money. Some guy out there, I think it was from Valero, he was like, I will match everyone one laptop for students if someone will match that donation. And I was sitting there like, I'm an invited teacher. I can't. I'll stay seated. But that's awesome. People are willing to throw money at our youth in this city. We just need to invite them, give them a space, and give them an event to do so. Conclusions, this is a lot. Look over it, table it. Mr. Rodriguez is my number. I've been here for a while. I know some of you. If you know Joe Alcoces, he used to come here to the city councils and record. He used to send me and his son to go record these city council meetings when I was in high school. So just contact me. I have the budgeting, I have the funding. This is just I say brief overview, quotations. But if you have any questions on budgeting, next steps, projected timelines, pilots, I have all of that. I'm a nerd. I don't go to sleep. Like, I love doing this. And especially if it's for the city I grew up in and the city that my students are currently growing up in, I have a stake in this city still. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vela, very much. Council. Go ahead, Councilman. Yes, I do. And does any council member have any comments pertaining to the presentation?
I was just hoping to get your contact information.
Yeah, I'll share that with you, and Maria has it as well. Mr.
And be recognized.
Yes, sir, Councilman.
Great
Hernandez.
presentation, guys. I'm really impressed with your ideas with the funding. You're right, a lot of business would like to donate to that. And even if we only had $7,500 to give each year, I think that would really impact a couple of individuals. So, I guess are we able to make a proposal, or should we table this for another?
No, oh, he's going to do it on his own.
Right.
Councilman.
So this evening was discussion only. So if the
Right.
council wants further discussion, we can have it as a future agenda item.
So then I would recommend if we can put that on a future agenda, then
Okay.
discuss it
Councilman.
more in detail. Thank you.
Sounds good. Anybody else? So I'd just like to point out a couple of things, Mr. Vela, and that is that as I was reading the apartment, one of the things that struck to me was the apartment partners, they market the park as their dog park for a fee. So in other words, they can claim to say in their advertisement for the leasing of their apartments that they have their own dog park and they can use it and utilize it and pay the city a fee for that. That'll help with the upkeep as well. Oh, sorry. That'll help with the upkeep as well. And so the reason I wanted to start something like this and I initiated this is because all of us have children in this community. Councilman Hernandez has his son, very involved in school. He plays golf and, he does a lot of things in this community. My sons and daughters that live in this community as well. Most of the generation is coming up. The next wave of leaders are here before us. And as in the movie, The Scent of a Woman, if anybody's seen that movie with Al Pacino, when he talks on behalf of the young man that's about ready to be railroaded by the chancellor and everybody in the school, he says, embrace this youth, embrace it. I promise you, it'll make you proud. And what he means by that is that they're the next generation of leadership people that we have in this community that's going to be carrying the torch for us. and they're going to be the ones, they're going to have the ideas. So that's why I thought, why not hear from those that are coming up and wanting to see these things in our community? Instead of us coming up with these ideas, let the youth tell us what they want and see what they can do to transparently and collectively collaborate to make it happen. And I will show and just indicate to you how much it can exemplified. We have one of our own employees, Mr. Roy Martinez, 21-year-old bachelor degree at a 21-year-old age. Why? Because he put his mind to his education and he wanted to excel. And now he's leading us in community engagement. So that's what we need to embrace, ladies and gentlemen, is our youth and get them involved and engaged, because that's where our future is going to be. And so that's why I thought it's very important that they tell you in their own words what would be working for our city. And I was really proud to watch Mr. Vela and my own son, Johnny, here. That's the first time I've seen him speak in public where he spoke, and very eloquently. So, son, very proud of you taking up, and you're going to be leading in that direction. So we look forward to the next presentation. Thank you, Mr. Vela. Mr. Enriquez, do you have any, as a professor from UT, any comments you would want to add? Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Any other questions from any council members? Any other info? Okay, so let's move on to the next item, number 5, consent agenda items. These items may be acted upon in a single motion. No separate discussion or action on these items will be held unless requested by a council member. Public comment on these items may be heard during the public comment period. However, that does not mean that the item will be considered outside of the consent agenda. So we will have now the approval of the minutes for December 16, 2025, and 2, the approval of the finance report for December 2025. Any questions pertaining to those items? Any indications of concern for anyone? Please feel free to ask the chair to be recognized, and you may go ahead and address it. Councilman Hernandez?
Mayor, if there's no questions, I make a motion to approve the minutes and the items that are grouped together.
Okay, motion has been made by Councilman Hernandez. Do we have a second to his motion?
Yes, I second.
Councilman Sellers has second. Let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Okay, so we have 4 ayes and no nays. Motion carries. I'm sorry, I needed to call. Any further discussion after I had called for the vote prior to that? Nope. Okay, so the vote has been taken. It is a 4 with 1 missing, Mr. Jack Bird. Correct? Okay, so we have 4, motion passes. Item number 6, business items. The following items are for discussion, consideration, and possible action. Item number 1 of that topic is discussion and possible action. Ordinance number 2026-01, an ordinance ordering a general election in the city of Balcones Heights to be held May 2nd, 2026 for the election of mayor, city council members for place 1 and place 2. Term of such offices to be for 2 years, terminating when their successors are elected and qualified, and establishing procedures for said general election and allowing the mayor to enter in a joint election agreement with Bexar County Elections Administrator, acting on behalf of the Bexar County to conduct the general election to be held on May 2nd, 2026 for the city of Balcones Heights, to include Form I-2 prescribed by Secretary of State, Section 4.005B, Order of General Election for Municipalities. Mr. Joe Bravo, City Secretary, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, this is just calling for the election, so I need you to consider and to vote. 1-2 form requires all of your signatures, so if you could stay after and sign that, I would appreciate it. It has to go back to the Bexar County Elections Office.
I have the form.
He has the
right
form.
here.
It's in your packet, but you need to sign just one.
Okay,
Any questions?
so we need an action item to go ahead and vote on this item to ordering the general election, correct? So council, I'll instruct whoever council member would like to be recognized to make the motion is go ahead and read item number 1 and as such, has been printed here, and therefore we'll call the vote right after that. Do we have a motion from any council members that'd like to be recognized?
Mayor,
Yes,
I make a motion to pass.
okay. Would you like to read the item number one, Mr.
ahead.
Sellers, please? As it written, so we know it's in the record.
Making a motion to pass item number one as read, discussion of possible action ordinance number 2026-01 in accordance ordering the general election in the city of Balcony Heights to be held May 2nd, 2026 for the election. Mayor, city council members, place 1 and 2, term of such offices to be 2 years terminating when their successors are elected and qualified, establishing procedures for said general election and allowing the mayor to enter into a joint election agreement with Bear County Election Administrator acting on behalf of Bear County to conduct general election to be held on May 2nd, 2026. The city of Balcony Heights to include Form 1-2 prescribed by Secretary of State Section 4.005B, order general election for municipalities, Bravo, Associate Secretary.
Okay, so we have that motion on the floor. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'd like to second the motion.
Councilman Hernandez is second to that motion. Now I'll call for any further discussion on the item. No further discussion from the council. Then we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Councilwoman Weaver, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Eversol?
Aye.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yay.
Mr. Sellers?
Yay.
Okay, we have 4 yeas and no nays on the record, excluding 1 for absence of Mr. Jack Burton. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action, review bids for Crestview Phase 3 and award a contract. We have Mr. Jess Swaim, the city engineer. Did I pronounce that correctly? Swaim? Swam? Okay, great. And what is your name again? Joe Campo?
Antu.
Cantu.
Yep.
And Joe Cantu will be speaking on behalf of Mr. Swaim.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just want to preface really quickly. This is for Crestview Phase 3 to hopefully begin next month. We received 5 bids, RL Jones for $675,000, J&P Paving for $685,000, D&D Contractor for $699,000, D Plata Construction, $726,000, HL Zumwalt, $737,000. 6S recommends the acceptance of RL Jones bid at $675,442. RL Jones has done work within the city many times on various construction projects here. If there's any additional questions, again, Joe's here, our city engineer.
Any questions by the council members to the engineer?
Yes, please.
Mr. Sellers, go right ahead.
You said that all of these contractors had previously worked in Balcony Heights?
RL
So-
Jones, D Plata,
Yeah, few of them have.
2 out of the 5 bids.
Okay.
R.L. Jones completed the last phase on Crestview, and they also completed Pleasant Drive.
I wish we had those numbers on a piece of paper.
Your bid attached on there, that's one.
Yeah, it's attachment to the,
Under the staff report. You see it, David? Go ahead, you
Mayor,
still have the
Mayor.
floor, sir.
Now that I have this paper, can you reiterate the companies that have done work here before?
yeah, so R.L. Jones, the apparent low, they completed Crestview Phase 2, one of the last phases, and also Pleasant Drive. And the other one is D Plata. They've only done Phase 1 of Crestview.
On Crestview? it addressed by council members.
You still have the floor, sir.
So phase one on Crestview, I don't have any problems with the way that was conducted. I do have a problem with the way R.L. Jones left the remaining work to be done on Crestview in phase two. I don't like the way he left those streets with strips in them, gravel in them, and neither do any of the residents around there. So with that said, I'm not going to recommend him, but I mean, this is only my recommendation. Okay.
Can I provide a little clarity on Crestview 2 here? The street cuts that were left on Crestview Phase 3 were left by CPS and not R.L. Jones. They have since been refilled, but that is a miscommunication with CPS. They should have filled it after the completion of the project. They never did. And we've since gotten them. So that was not R.L. Jones, that was
Thank you
CPS.
for clarifying that, but
Yeah.
why didn't we tell them to fix it right?
Again,
CPS,
there's a
yeah.
miscommunication on emails, so they were under the assumption that they did not have to fill it, when in fact they did not have to fill Crestview 2 street cuts because construction was going to start soon after.
So we
They
didn't have a
interpreted,
contract with them?
I'm sorry?
We didn't have a contract?
We
with
did have a
CPS?
contract with CPS. There was
That
an
contract did
interlocal
not
agreement, I
state
believe.
that they were supposed to fill that in properly,
They were supposed to fill that in properly.
and they didn't.
They did not.
Well, how
at the
much
time.
compensation did we get back from that? From not doing
CPS?
that?
I don't believe we received anything from.
And why not?
Councilmember, if we could, I understand how this is related, but the discussion on the CPS contract and those things is not on the agenda. So we've got to stick with the actual bid.
Okay, thank you. I,
Yield the floor. Okay, do you have any other concerns, any other comments from anyone? Okay, so Mr. Swain, Mr. Cantu, the only concern I have and would like to offer as a suggestion, and also Nick, if we can, I think we talked about the warranty on the work. Because we had to pick up some slack on the depressed areas around the manholes that we had to pay, and I think that was not in the warranty of the street. Can we make sure we put some language in there that would cover that so we don't have to pay that the next time? So I think that cost us what, $20,000-$30,000? It's a pretty hefty tab. And so the warranty of the work where the settling of the grade of the street went below the manhole and exposed it, and people were concerned in the neighborhood. Residents were concerned that they were going to hit that manhole and cause damage to their
I remember the
vehicles.
Discussion of it, was that a recent completed job or?
Yes, I think within the last 3 months, we completed that.
Or the location of the actual recess.
One was on Glenarm, the other one's on,
It was Glenarm Phase 1 completed in 2016.
yeah, so that was in 2016.
So as part of the contracts, there's always a 1-year warranty on there, and that covers all the construction. So pavement condition, everything's looked at in 1 year.
Is there a way we can extend that to a longer period of coverage?
Typically,
1
it's
year?
done up front. You can negotiate it, but I think the cost would go up on bids for a longer.
Why don't you articulate that with him, see how he feels about it, and then get back with us? If, I know you're wanting us to approve the contract today or the awarding of the bid, because I think we delay it, wouldn't we, Nick? And then we get delayed another 30 days, another month.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see happen.
And
But
it's also,
if it would
this is
take
also a CD.
maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely discuss it, but typically our 1-year warranties. It's also CDBG funded projects. I don't know if there's other construction.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Unless my colleagues can offer any other suggestions how to address that?
May be
I'm open.
recognized.
Yes, sir.
So the manhole that we paid $20,000 for, that work was completed in 2016. So I don't think that there's a warranty that's going to be that long.
Yeah.
Okay with that.
But now the only other thing that I can offer is, yes, if I may comment. Is that perhaps we need to monitor it a little bit closer, Nick, to our staff at Public Works to make sure they monitor those closely, to make sure that, you're looking at if there's dropping within that year, get back with them right away and get that repaired, be brought up to par, so we don't have to pay for it. That may be a way
It's
to
something
address it.
that Success is able to offer. is
Okay.
we have daily inspections through Robert,
Correct.
a little more observance, right, of what is going to go on and really limiting any liabilities that are going to go, 10 years past like this settling.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if the inspections were done back in 2016 with a different city engineer that we had at the time, but
Okay.
they are done today.
Maybe you can put your little reminder on the computer and have it pop up. 3
Right.
months, 6 months, look into it.
Yeah, we
Keep
recommend.
tabs on it, especially as we're getting closer to the year.
Most cities, we recommend that.
Feel more comfortable and then whatever the council feels in terms of who they want to award it to. Councilman Sellers, go right ahead, sir.
What contractor did Pleasant?
Pleasant, I believe it was R.L. Jones.
That was Earl Jones.
Yes.
R.L. Jones? Did Pleasant? I don't know if anybody's noticed, but at the park on Pleasant, every time it rains, the drainage is, there's a puddle of water 3 inches thick. It sits there until it evaporates. And that was R.L. Jones who did that. So
All right, so,
that's all.
Mr. Sellers, if you're done with it, you yield. We'll go ahead and move on. Do we have a motion on the floor from anyone to go with the 6S recommendation of the acceptance of R.L. Jones bid at 675 or 42, or any other alternative or options that the council wants to exercise on their discretion? Any council member would like to motion or?
Mayor, is this something we have to vote on right now, or can we postpone it?
It's under the purview of the city council majority.
I'm gonna propose that we, I'm gonna say, table this and recommend that you remove R.L. Jones and get a different contractor. 'Cause I'm not comfortable moving forward with it.
Okay, so we have
Mayor,
one
may I-
councilman?
Council, if I could.
Yes,
Okay, so if you all want to table this item, you can table it, and that can be the motion.
yes. I was just gonna say
And
that.
our consultants have pointed out to us, this is a CDBG grant, right? And it carries some certain things and it carries some certain legal obligations with it, of which I'm happy to address and get y'all some information, for the next council meeting if y'all would like to table that. Because those legal pieces have a great bearing on your options.
And another point, if I can, councilman or council members, if you'd like, we can call a special meeting so we don't have to wait 30
And
days.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
That was my next suggestion.
Yes,
Perhaps since you're looking to expedite this and you want an answer, I suggest that we meet one day this week and discuss this privately, like at a workshop, and come up with an answer.
let's check with our legal.
What I will say is, we can have the staff look for the soonest available date for posting, because the posting requirements have changed, right? We've got to post 3 business days before the date of the meeting. So,
So as
they-
long as we meet the requirement, David.
right. So
Within
staff
40
staff will reach out to y'all for a time and a date that y'all would be available.
Okay, Councilman Hernandez?
May I be recognized? Council, are we able to go into closed session and you counsel us now on what you're gonna share with us next meeting?
Yeah, you can go anytime in executive session.
Yes, you can. You just need that motion if you all want to do it now, or if y'all want to hold this item and go, and discuss it.
Y'all
when y'all
wanna
go.
do
I move that we go to executive session.
I can call it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and discuss this in executive session, see if we can hammer it out right now instead of having to call another meeting. The time is 6:54 PM. And we are moving from open session to executive session. We should take this pretty quickly, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try to do our best so we don't have to be waiting very long. If you can just bear with us a few minutes, we'll come right back out of the executive session. Hopefully, we'll have resolution to it.